LinkedIn, I was really good at it because it was me. You add people every day, you engage with people every day, you put out content every day, and that's the strategy. And I made £3 million selling it to people.
Helen Tudor, the queen of LinkedIn.
She helps business owners and experts grow their brand and generate leads through LinkedIn.
What brought you to this online world?
Like most things, sheer desperation. I was about 90 grand in personal debt. A single mum, 2 kids under 5. I was sitting in this car, the kids crying with my shopping, just thinking, this is it.
This online space and the networking. I'd always shied away from networking because I just thought it was wanky.
This is what I want to get into, right? Because it's, what does it even mean?
It's all bollocks. Some people need to not build a personal brand.
The answer is, I go to events to make money. I go to events to get clients. I hate being forced to stand up and dance, clap, sing, hug. Guys told me that I shouldn't do this on LinkedIn, that you told me to do. And I'm like, has he made £3 million? Has he made £3 million selling LinkedIn training? No. You know what? Good luck to everybody. But if you sell the thing that you do, you've got to understand that the reason why you're so good at it is because...
Right. Helen, welcome to the show. I'm excited. I love it.
I can't take you seriously.
Because what? I'm being professional?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I can't cope.
All right. Norbed, how are you doing?
That's more
Better?
like it, yeah.
Right, we'll go with that.
Right.
I actually like that because we met not knowing anything about each other.
I always tell this story.
Oh, do you?
I always think yeah, because I think we've got the most pure connection
Yes.
of anybody online
Because there was
ever.
not... Yeah. Yes. Let's own that right now because we literally met at Emphasis event.
Absolutely no idea who each other was.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful thing, really. Because
You told me you'd stalked me on Facebook the week before, though.
Well,
You had that's not fully true.
that's not fully true. So I'd seen you on Facebook the week before.
Yeah.
But literally, that was the first time you'd
Yeah,
ever even been in my sphere of acknowledgement, which is so rare. That's what I think is really interesting about our kind of origin story. Is that
Which
we
was a
did-
few weeks ago, by
Which
the
was
way.
it was week,
No, it's not,
was
but-
it weeks ago?
It
Months
was
ago? It was not long ago.
October, September, something like that. So it's months. It is months.
It is months, but what I loved about it was I had no idea who you were, and you had no idea. No, you had literally no idea who I was.
Yeah. There was just a group of people, and I knew nobody in the room, and you were one of them.
Do you not think that's quite rare?
Well, it's probably not as rare for me because, the last year, truthfully, has been my. Suddenly I'm visible and suddenly I'm meeting loads of people I'd not met before. Even though I've been in business a long time, this online space and the networking, I'd always shied away from networking because I just thought it was wanky.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
But then I was like, actually, there's some value in this. I'm going to do it properly. So that last year was me meeting loads of people who are somebody, but to me, I didn't know who they were.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Is anybody somebody?
Yeah.
Or is everybody somebody?
Somebody in the eyes of people. It's a perception, right?
This is what I want to get into, right? Because it's, what does it even mean?
It's all bollocks.
It's so much bollocks. But
Well, this is the thing, right? This is what marketing is, business is. Everything's a perception.
It is. It is. And that what was really interesting about going to Emphasis Thing is that the first time I went there, first time I ever went to Emphasis Thing was to a retreat as a speaker. So I went as a speaker and everyone was like, oh, here you are, you're doing a speaker, and I did an event and all the rest of it. Next time I went as a punter and everyone was like, what are you doing here? Why are you here?
Because they think you are somebody.
Yeah, and I was just a bit I just wanted to come, and I really liked it last time, and I thought it was really great. And then we did this CEO day with you. It was just I just know there's going to be people here, but I don't know who they all are. And that was I went into it like that, but we just literally met each other, and we didn't know who each other was. And there's, I think, Emphasis was how do you two not know each other? And I think that's just, I like the fact that that's how we met, and we didn't know each other.
And then
it's
very
interesting.
quickly after, we saw each other nearly every flipping day. I couldn't go anywhere. I'm like, oh, for God's sake, it's her again.
Now it's everywhere I go.
Literally.
Every time I open my Facebook, there you are.
Yeah.
Every time I walk into a room, there you are.
But I even got you
And here we
singing.
are.
I even got you up dancing and singing at the one in
did.
Blackpool.
You did.
Which apparently is an achievement for you to do at a networking event.
A huge achievement. I am famous for. I hate. Oh, I can feel it in my body. I hate being forced to stand up and dance, clap, sing, hug.
I literally had you doing it all within 60 seconds.
And literally within 60 seconds. And so Katie loves you, by the way, my Katie.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably one of the first people she's really got to know in her own right as well. It's not just, oh, she's my daughter. She's like, you know, like you met her.
Which again is because we didn't really know each other kind of thing. Yeah.
And she's always says, oh, why doesn't Matt sing? Why doesn't Matt sing? I said, I know. Why doesn't Matt not sing, you know? And then when you came out singing and we just looked at each other and we were like, Matt's singing.
Straight away.
And we were
and I'd been bullied into it by Liz.
It was a great move. It was
You
really,
thought?
yeah.
Well,
really
do you know what's
good.
interesting? I've had mixed reviews.
Really?
I've been told it's a bad move.
I think it's the best move ever. This
Why?
reminds me of when I met Paul Green. He said to me, I've been told by my business coach not to mention I'm a pilot. And I was like, what? That should be like your whole personality because
It's unique.
it's unique. Not many people are a commercial pilot, right? Not many people are in a Take That award-winning Take That tribute band.
Helen, say it again.
Like, why wouldn't you use it? Like, you've got something that's so unique and so like unusual and that other people haven't got that I think you should leverage it massively. But also, who's your actual target audience? I'm going to guess they're
It might like take that as well,
yeah,
potentially.
middle-aged, perimenopausal women who want to succeed in business and want to have a community, and that's why they invest in Success School, right? They want all the tools and they see you and they think, this guy is going to be able to help me. Like, you are
And I get to sing with him.
Yeah. You're the housewife's favourite. Just own it.
I do sometimes do it in our challenges and stuff like that. Like I don't sing, but I'll put some music on, get the vibes going.
Yeah.
And I think that is unique because I think, well, maybe not if it was in America. I think it's pretty standard.
Yeah, maybe.
But over here, I do just try and I have a bit of fun with it. It's not like, I'm not really seriously like, we need to change our state and I'm not Tony Robbins, do you know what I mean? But I do like to have a laugh and it definitely does go down well. So I do get that. But I think it was more, my fear was when I started the coaching business, which is coming up to 7 years this year, I was still gigging in the Take That tribute band.
Yeah.
So what I was worried is I'm building this brand as this motivational business coach. And on,
I'm not laughing at that. It's just like...
and on weekends, I'm wearing a wig. I'm putting a hat on and going, hello, everybody, I'm Mark Owen. And I was like, would you really pay me a lot of money to be your business coach? Even though, granted, just to be clear, the tribute band, I own the business that manages the band. I wasn't just the performer. It was also a legitimate business I owned. Do you see what I mean? I was
you
a bit
don't need
like...
to justify it to me. I
feel
think
like
it's
I
cool
do.
to be in a Take That tribute band.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cool. Is that the right word?
I think it's cool, yeah. It is, and it's... Do you know what? This is another confession, is I don't really enjoy events. I don't really enjoy sitting and looking at a stage and being spoke at. So... But I also don't enjoy the singing and dancing and the hugging, so I don't even know where I go half
Do you
the
like
time.
people?
Some people. But I think, and I don't want to like just be nice to you this whole podcast because that'd be boring and weird for us. But it was good as well. Do you know what I mean? It was good. It was like you're a performer. You can tell you're really good at what you do when you're singing, as well as being the world's best business coach. It's like... It was good, you know what I mean? And Katie and I genuinely got up and danced. It wasn't because, oh God, we're sat at the front. I don't want to, look like I'm not enjoying myself because I have been caught doing that before.
God, on camera.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I hate when I'm at the front. People say, oh, why do you always sit at the back? And I'm like, oh, I just don't like being at the front. And it's like, it's because I want to be able to just sit at the back and not get involved in all of that.
You learnt the hard way. You got
Yeah.
caught.
Excuse me, right, I've got an important question that I need to ask you. No, not the guest, you, the listener. Have you bought your ticket to Business Mastery Live yet? If you're not clear, this is our biggest event ever. Not only in capacity, we're going to have about 500 business owners, entrepreneurs, content creators in the room. Not only in the calibre of speakers, we've got people like Daniel flipping Priestley speaking on stage and Scott Thomas, but also because it's our first ever 2-day business event. It's happening on Monday the 13th and Tuesday the 14th of April. And my advice is this. In a 2026 world, it's so easy to just do things online, but actually just because it's easy doesn't mean it's the best. In my opinion, as somebody who takes visibility very, very seriously, there is no substitute for building relationships in the room. I know events cost more money, they take more time, energy and effort, but they really are, I believe, worth the reward. And also, you can rest assured we are throwing everything we flipping can into making sure this is going to be one of the best business events of this year. And not only that, I believe passionately that the calibre of events that we see in London and in America and all them fancy places should be happening right here in the north of England. And if you believe the same and you want to support us, we'd massively appreciate you. But will you do me a favour and buy your tickets now? Because I'm not going to lie, it's stressful with you leaving it till last minute. So please, stop just listening to this podcast, give it a pause, click the link below the show notes, buy your ticket, and then I can sleep tonight. And I'd appreciate it. Have you done it? If you've done it, now we'll go back to the interview. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Let's talk about that, about what you said there about events. You don't just like being spoken at and so on. But like, so why do you still go? And what do you think events can do better so that you can go, actually, I like that event?
Okay, all right. Well, I wasn't expecting this. So I go to events to make money. I go to events to get clients. And when I say that to people, they're just almost like, oh.
How dare you?
I know.
Yeah.
What, you mean you're not here for the connection?
Yeah.
And for the,
Getting
learning?
drunk.
Yeah, they're getting drunk. I go to, I had to explain all this to Katie. So Katie is obviously my daughter and she's got her own business and I bring her with me to all these events and
winning awards now.
My
Which is
award-winning
great.
daughter.
Yeah, really good.
And she said, why do you go to these events? Because before I'd be like, we've got to go to this event and we're going to have to, get involved and, all the rest of it. Why'd you go? And I said, we'll go to make money. Like, that's why we go. We go because it's like, I call it's a bit like politics. You want to be seen, kissing babies, shaking hands, hugging people and like having a good time and building connection. I do go to build connection. I'm not a complete, absolute, I'm not just like, oh, I'm just here to make money and that's it. I love going and seeing people that I know and I love and I like to deepen connection. So for me, events are like, the reason why I go to the same events over and over again, because I'm not there for the learning, I'm there because I want to see the same people who go to those events, you know? Like when I go to Danny's events, go to the Big Festoon, walk in, and I just feel like, oh, this is like home for me. It didn't the first time. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, if you've been to Danny's events, it's like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And then over time, because I've been twice, 3 times, 4 times, it's like now you become part of that, part of the family of the event. So I get a lot out of it personally to go and build those relationships. But ultimately, I'm going because it's a business development tool.
Yeah.
So what events can do better, in my opinion, and my opinion is only one, and other opinions are definitely available. And I'm not an expert in events, I'm not expert in many things, but is give people more time to do that.
Agreed. And it's exactly what we're doing with ours. Because
More
I've had the
time.
exact same experience. And I get it. Different people need different things at different stages.
Yeah.
So for people that are brand new to business, the idea of having all access to all these great speakers and just have a notepad and just be writing. But then what we've probably learned is over time, what a lot of people end up doing in those early stages is just having so many notes that's then overwhelming and hardly anything gets implemented. So that in itself's a problem. But then you've got the people who are more experienced at business that, we can always still learn. It's not a case of
course,
you know everything. But actually, the most value comes from just having conversations and meeting new people. And like you said, deepening relationships. So like one of the things we're doing in our event, and we did it last time, it was really good. One of the speakers, like their actual slot was to get everybody to engage with each other and just give people a bit of space and give people a few prompts, get a few people up on stage, right? You've just met, what have you learned about each other? And actively do networking as part of the on-stage event rather than it just being everybody rush, grab a sandwich, chat, and then get back in the room kind of thing.
Yeah,
which I don't think works.
I get why people do it. I understand, it's the oldest sort of trick in the book, isn't it? Get people sat for, doing, learning, being sold to. Don't care what anyone says. Everyone's selling from the
In
stage.
some way or
just
another.
by being on the stage, selling. Some more overtly than others. But, people are there. You want people to get in there and buy from the speakers because that's why the speakers will come back. I get it. I understand it. But it's just giving people no space. I just feel like it just negates the joy of the event.
Couldn't agree more.
Even when I do small events, so I do like mastermind days at my house, what I realised quite early on is, we do, we only have 5 people, so we have hot seats and, everyone has half an hour and all that kind of stuff. That stuff's great and that's what they're here for. But the power is in me leaving the room.
Yeah.
It's so in the breaks, I always, and in the, we have lunch together, but, there's an hour in between when we finish and when we go for the Chinese. And that's like that.
Sounds great, by the way.
It's great, right? The best Chinese, by the way. It's actually just 5 minutes down the road.
The corner, okay.
You should try it.
That could be my tea tonight.
It should be your tea tonight. So, like, I've realised that if I step out the room,
right,
that's when the magic happens.
Wow.
When they can really talk to each other and share their experiences and what they felt and bond with each other. And I always say to people, think about how when in the morning when I'm sort of opening up the space and giving like the ground rules and all that kind of stuff, I always say, remember how awkward this feels, and compare it to how you feel
leave.
at 5 o'clock.
Nice.
Because they walk, when people walk in with all their, their labels and their perceptions and they want other people to perceive them, but by the time they leave, they're just so bonded and so close. And I think that's the magic of in person, whether it's a 5-person event or a 500-person event. Like, there's no way we would be sat here now and have the relationship we've got and the friendship we've got, which we've never even bought anything off each other. Well, I bought tickets to.
Oh, you have actually, yeah.
I'm
winning.
Yeah.
I'm finally ahead for once in my life.
If we'd not met at all these events, there's just no way.
Well, yeah, and I was just thinking exactly what you just described about your in-person events. That is what Emphasis CEO Day was for us.
Yeah.
Because by the end of it, I mean, I said to you, I was a bit unsure about you initially because you were a bit scary in the way you was very. I actually really respect people that are very direct.
Yeah.
And I instantly got that about you, and I admired it about you, and was a little bit scared about you as well. But by the end of it, we're there, glasses of wine, having a laugh, and already feeling really comfortable to have a joke with each other by the end of that one day.
Yeah.
And I think what I found really interesting about that CEO Day, as we've said, we didn't know each other. But through the conversations, you get to learn that everybody around the table is working at a certain level, has had certain successes. But it was the level of vulnerability and honesty that really drew me to everyone, but in particular you.
Oh, right.
Because you
What did I say?
were honest about the fact that you struggle with things, and that you've struggled with things like people put you on a pedestal and have a certain expectation, but you still have doubts, right? And you still go through tough patches. And I think a lot of people wouldn't think that about you.
Do you really? That's really interesting, because I'd like to think that I'm really open and honest and that people wouldn't put me on a pedestal, but they still do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Because of
why.
your results.
Just because of the results.
That's it. Yeah.
I
You
think
can't not.
That's the pattern interrupt, I suppose, isn't it? It's that I've had all this success, made all this money, but I'm still just like them, really. I'm just like everybody else. And it's funny because it kind of kicked off yesterday online, and it was my fault.
Oh, God, what did you do?
I know.
What have you done now?
It was my fault because I was rushing, and I've got a really bad habit of having an idea and having 3 minutes to write the post and just writing you know what I mean? Like, I have no filter between what I think and what I do with my thumbs. I just splurge it, and I don't edit it, and I just put it out. And that, I think, is part of my charm. I think a lot of people like that about me in some ways, because they feel like, oh, it's just like talking to me. But sometimes I'll get it wrong, and I did get it wrong yesterday. And what I'd seen a post of someone being very vulnerable in a group saying, I'm really struggling, I've done everything I think I can do, and I feel like that there's nothing else I can do. And I'm feeling awful, and I feel like this is the end of the road kind of thing. There's more to it than that, but I won't say too much because I obviously don't want to out them. And then in the comments, everybody was super loving, super supportive, and super actively trying to help. And what they were doing was like, I can help, tell me about your business. And I was in the comments as well. Tell me what you do. I'll know, if I don't know somebody, I'll be able to tell you. Like, I was compelled to help this person.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, you know what, that was actually a really beautiful. Well, it's a shame for the person who's struggling, but it was a really beautiful representation of my belief, which is people are good. Yeah. And I just thought, that's really, I want to share that. Stupidly, I wrote, I can't remember what I said now, but it's something like, this is an observation, not a criticism, but I feel like what I said was the best way to get leads right now is to say you're struggling, which is not what I meant. What I meant was I've just seen somebody say they're struggling, and they're obviously going to get loads of business out of it. But I've kind of positioned it in the wrong way. And I talked about it a little bit. And then lots of people came and said, that's terrible advice. Like, we shouldn't be telling people to be vulnerable.
What I'm hearing you say is just be honest.
Yeah.
That's how I would have read it.
That's how I meant. I just thought, wow, she was really vulnerable and honest in that post. And
because people want to help, and that was evidence of it. So my interpretation of what you've said there is, don't bullshit your audience. Just be honest about, this is where I am. This is what, and like, if anyone, this is what I'm doing. If anyone feels aligned, I don't know. But I think sometimes people read what they want to read as well.
It's a bit like your post that we talked about before, before as in when we were having a brew, not before on this, in case people are trying to find it, is when you said that your Facebook ads manager said, just do a video. You said to
When
her,
I was knackered.
Yeah, I'm knackered. And she said, do a video about
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
you did it. And I saw that video and I thought, God, I feel that, right? I know what it's like when you've done a challenge or an event. You're like, I'm knackered, but I feel great. I've given it everything I've got. I left it all out on the table or whatever. I don't even know what you said in it. But again, that to me makes me see you as somebody like that's like me, you know? So that really bonds me to you, right? And I think that's what I was trying to say. It's like the more open and honest we all are, the more we can all just get on with helping each other and being supportive.
Correct.
And the comments didn't go how I would have liked them, because I only like it when people say nice things to me in my comments.
really?
Yeah, I really do. I really don't like it when people disagree with me, right?
Good luck.
I know. It's been a thorn in my side for the whole time I've been online, right? But I get it. People came and said, no, you know, I'm an expert in positioning, basically, and that's a terrible position. And people saying that's terrible advice, and you shouldn't be telling people to say, I'm struggling, help me out, kind of thing.
Is it being a bit pedantic over the wording, though?
Well, that's
because the
my
meaning and the
response was,
But
yeah.
isn't this where the world is a little bit? And I get words matter. I get that it's
Yeah.
important. But I also think as responsible human beings, we all need to just check ourselves a little bit. When you're going in on someone going, that's terrible. No. What's she really saying? Like, don't just take it word for word. Actually, what's the intention? Is it to harm, or is it to say, just be a bit more honest with where you're at?
The reason why I wrote it was because so what I do, and this might be a bit woo, but when I look at a post, I can see how that person's feeling, and it's not always obvious in the words that they're using. But, you know, I can read the energy in a post. And what I could read in that post from her was pure fear about, if I write this, people are going to, people think.
They won't pay me.
Yeah, people will think I haven't got my shit together. People will never buy from me again. People will think I'm a failure. People will judge me. And that's really what happened in my post.
Right.
Was that people were saying, like, I would never buy from someone who said they were struggling. Somebody actually said that. And I was like, wow. If someone said to me they were struggling with sales and marketing, I wouldn't think, getting clients, I wouldn't think they were terrible. And my example was a cupcake maker. You know what I mean? A cupcake maker in a local group says, I've done everything I can. I've given everything I've got.
Such a good
You
example.
know,
you don't go, well, I'll never buy a cupcake off you because you said you're struggling.
You wouldn't say
if
your
they're
cupcakes
good,
are horrible. You just think, oh, you need some help selling.
Going through a bad time.
And I would help them with some sales and marketing in the comments, because that's my expertise. I would buy some cakes, and next time I saw someone asking about cakes, I'd probably tag them in. And I said, in my sort of defense, if you like, we're all different. Like, that's how I would read it. I wouldn't think, oh, you must be terrible at the thing that you do, because I work with thousands of entrepreneurs who are brilliant at what they do, and they can't get clients. That's why they come to me. They come to me because I'm an expert in that thing, but they're an expert in their thing. So I just don't have that judgment. But I get it. If I went out now and said I can't get any clients, and I've written a book, just so you know.
Never said.
I didn't even bring it with me. So.
I'm surprised.
I know. I'm surprised.
I've never seen you without it. Literally, I haven't. I've always seen you with that book.
Sorry, I've got a QR code on my back. You know, if I said, like, when I used to teach LinkedIn, every time I got a lead on LinkedIn, I think, oh, thank God for that. Because, like, if I couldn't get leads on LinkedIn, then I'm a complete fraud,
Got
right?
it.
So I get it. Like, you can't be a sales expert who can't sell.
But the reality of business is we all go through patches. Things
100%.
change. And I think the more we can be honest about that. It reminds me of a really good friend of mine, Ross, who's been on this show a couple of times. I always remember a story when he was growing his membership. And he's now got over 1,000 members in his membership. And it's brilliant. But he was really struggling to grow it for a few years. And one of the reasons was he kept emailing them like he was this big organisation, this big team.
Yeah.
And he just sent one email one time saying, listen, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong here. I just want to be honest with you. I'm one guy growing this membership. I'm an actor, like, because it's an acting membership. I'm an actor just like you, and I'm just trying to build this community, blah, blah. And suddenly, bang, that was almost like day one of his membership actually starting, because people are like, oh, I just thought you were this big corporate company trying to take my money.
Yeah.
The minute he was just really honest about his circumstances and where he was, is when suddenly, like you're saying, people want to help and they want to get involved. And actually, they saw the value in what he was doing. They just had this perception it was this big business. They won't miss their money or whatever.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're like, oh, I'll support this now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the kind of where the comments were going a little bit. I mean, it wasn't a massive blow up or anything. It was just the first time anyone's disagreed with me for ages.
Oh, you've been on
And
such a good
I
winning
know,
streak.
I've been on such a streak. Everyone's been like really loving and supportive in my comments. Because I am very direct, but I am super, super sensitive. I think people don't know that about
Yeah.
me. I'm like, I take criticism very, very
I
personally.
think me and you are probably quite similar.
Yeah, I'm
in
a bit like that. I'm a very emotional, person. I'm what a negative comment can floor me for hours, and I really felt like that yesterday. I was kind of like, feel in your body. I could feel myself, like I feel my heart rate was up, my shoulders were up, my jaw. I was like, wasn't present with my children because I was like, I've got to get back and see what's been responded to, and like that's not the life that I want. But I think what I really felt in that comments was like, wow. Not only are some people came and said, I know how you meant this, Helen. Because I know you, and I know you would never try and tell people to basically lie and say that they're struggling, because that's just not what you like. And that, and then that makes me feel better, And then someone else is like,
But it's so dangerous,
and
then,
then
isn't
it makes you feel good. So that I'd love to be able to say to people, oh, don't worry about what people say online, but people do, and they will. So I just don't get it. One of the things in the comments was, people want to see that you, are basically, got your shit together better than them, so that they can feel safe and all that. And I get that, but that's just not how I do business.
I don't fully agree with that.
Well,
I've actually said to people, it's a red flag if somebody seems like everything's perfect, because nobody is. And it would put me off working with somebody.
I think so. I think you've got to have your shit together in the thing that you sell. You've got to have the proof that you can do what you can do. But outside of that, I mean, God, you've not got your shit together in every area, have you?
Nobody else.
How's your dating life going?
Shut up. I'm sick of talking about it, to be honest. Honestly, I did a podcast yesterday where she was hypnotising me on it, and I'm just like, I'm actually getting to the point where I'm like, if anyone else asks me, I'm just going to be like, shut up. I refuse to talk about it.
I love that. I love that post that you did on it. Did you like my answer, by the way?
No, I didn't see it. What was
it?
it?
The one where I was like, this is how you manifest in the partner. And I went through
yeah.
the whole process.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, you
to
did.
manifest you.
I did like it.
I had a client, I did a turbo call the other day with a love coach. And she was like, I just don't know if I really like... I was like, you've got to fall in love with love, I was like, you've got my dream job. I would love to be a love coach. I would love to be a relationships coach. I mean, I'm not going to because I'm too busy.
I'll tell you as well, it's the
it's
easiest way to get viral content. Anytime I talk about it, that's where you get the views.
Because it's personal though, isn't it? It's emotional.
Everybody relates.
And it's an area of your life where you're saying, I'm not saying, I mean, I had a great time being single. Like, it's not a bad life, is it? But
It's really not.
But you're
There's
saying...
a lot of upsides.
There are. But you're saying... I think I might be ready to have a partner, right?
Yeah.
And I did exactly. That's why I was like, I've got to say all this stuff because I went through exactly the same thing. I was like, just made a decision. So but I feel like that's a really good example of like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
I shouldn't just give up everything I'm doing to become a love coach just because I enjoy it and it's fun.
And we've got to be careful. That's something we could talk about because I think as entrepreneurs, you have all these ideas. You can see the value in it. You see the vision for it. You're excited about it, but it doesn't mean that's a reason to do another thing. How do you manage that? Because you have ideas all the time, right?
I do. And I think I wrote a post on this actually. Excuse me. I wrote a post on this because what I said was, shifting your identity as an entrepreneur is really messy and stressful and difficult. Yeah, because I've just done it. I've gone from being one thing for 10 years. I'm going to go do something else for the next at least 5. I don't really want to be dancing for dollars on Facebook when I'm 55. So at least another 5 years. And it's messy and it's stressful and it fucks up your cash flow and it's a problem, right? But then I see people doing it every 6 months.
Yeah.
Why? Just because they've had another idea. Whoa, this is not worth the risk. Have the ideas, but you don't have to make everything into a business. And also, quite often, if you love something, don't make it into a business.
Keep that for you.
Yeah, like just because you can do things doesn't mean you should do things. Like I love kickboxing. I train twice a week.
Do you?
Yeah,
I knew I had a reason to be shit scared. Are you proper good at it as well?
Yeah,
like
so
I've not take it seriously.
I take it very seriously. Yeah, I've trained for 10 years, but I've not got my black belt yet, and that is in my defence.
I'm just getting out of punch
and what we call hiding on brown. So brown is the there's brown advanced then black.
Yeah.
And hiding on brown means that you've not done the running that you need to do. So at my gym, you have to run. So you have to run 10K in an hour to get the next belt. and you also have to do sprints. And those are the two things that I'm not very good at. I'm very good at kickboxing, but I'm not very good
So
at the running.
that's just because you've got to get a certain level of cardiovascular.
Yeah, you got to have your certain level. You got to be able to do your cardio.
And you're just putting it off.
I just keep putting it up.
It's horrible though, isn't it? When you're
Yeah.
proper, you feel like you're going to die when you do that, when you're not used to doing intense cardio like that.
Yeah. So I'll get my black belt this year. That's my plan. I've said it now, so it'll happen.
This episode is sponsored by Dr. Tania King-Mohammad. She is the high ticket woman, the #1 best-selling author of the high ticket method, and one of the most sought after high ticket experts in the game. Basically, if you are an entrepreneur who is serious about scaling their business, you need to grab a copy of her book right now. Literally, I have read it and it is a game changer. It will blow your flipping mind. Tania is the mentor that the entrepreneurs call once they are finished playing small and are ready to start charging their worth. Working with Tania is all about creating consistent high ticket sales and doing it in a way where you can create a freedom level income without the constant hustle and grind like a lot of the other mentors bang on about. If you're listening to this show, you already know you're somebody that's meant for more and is willing to go and work for it. So basically, you need to get into Tania's world. Go and grab a copy of her book right now on Amazon and make sure you give her a cheeky little follow on Instagram. She is at Freedom with Tania and she's consistently giving strategies, tips and advice over there for free so you can start charging your worth and actually starting to believe in it.
But the point we were talking about that is you don't need to make a business out
But I
of
don't
it.
need to start a kickboxing gym. I can just go to kickboxing and go to the gym I go to and enjoy it and be a client. And
How do
be
you
coached.
decide? Like, how, if there was a framework deciding for what to pursue and what not to, how do you approach it?
I think if it's something that you absolutely love so dearly, don't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's almost the opposite of what people say.
Yeah, because you know what? It can ruin the love
The thing.
for it, the thing.
Because it becomes your job.
It becomes your job.
Whatever you say about, oh, you'll never work a day in the life, there's an element of it does become your job.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you absolutely love doing something and then you have to monetize it, you almost have to productize it, and you have to get other people to want to love it like you love it. So you just get further and further away from just the pure joy of doing the thing.
Got you.
You know what I mean? You have to, like it just, would I love kickboxing? Would I love going training if I owned the gym? Would I love going training if I paid all the coaches? Would I love going training if I had to make sure that the octagon was clean and the octagon was in the right place and I had to organise I just feel like I can
Completely
feel the love for it
Bit by bit.
draining away from me, you know. But if you could just, if it's something that you love, but it isn't something that, I don't know what the word is. It's kind of like if you love it and you're good at it and you can talk about it forever. That's what I would say. Like if you could talk about the thing incessantly for the next 10 years, do that. I think it's the promotion of the thing. I think people forget that there's the thing that you do and then you've got to sell the thing.
Yeah, which is a different thing.
Which is a different thing. Like, I don't know enough about kickboxing to talk about it all day, every day. You know, my trainer who's trained me who's been training for 40 years and trained me for the last 10, there's anything, he knows everything there is to know about kickboxing, right? But he doesn't even run the gym because he wants to just be able to train people all day, every day and not think about it. But like for me, for a business, you're going to run a business doing something, you're going to have to talk about it all day, every day,
and
forever.
there's, like you say, all the other angles to it. It's the admin, it's the staff, it's the marketing, the sales. I think it's about self-awareness, isn't it? It's about really having that self-awareness to go, would I love all the other angles to it as a business in that guise?
Yeah.
Or do I love it for different stuff?
I think we're very lucky because we sell business and we do business simultaneously. Most people that I work with they sell a thing and they have to do the business around it.
Right, yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah, we're quite lucky because we're doing the thing that we're teaching.
I think and also this is a separate point, but I think it's a good point to talk about in terms of ethics. So you'll get sales coaches talk about, oh, you should be doing high ticket, you could make this, you could do that. But if it's the wrong business, it's not as easy. Like, it's much easier to sell a high ticket product if what you sell is how to sell high ticket products.
Well, obviously, we could talk about this all day.
Right? And I think there's a real issue. And it's the same with I guess a lot of things, like, we've got to be mindful of it in what we teach. Like, for certain industries and certain niches, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
just following your exact process of how you do it as a sales coach or a business coach might not work the same for that business.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing we've all got to take ownership for and responsibility for in our marketing, is be very careful. It's like, oh, I made this but you made it selling sales.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I love people and I love business, and however people
This is
make
a
their money.
shit sandwich, but there's some
However
right
people wanna-
knobheads.
However people want to make their money is up to them. And you know what? Good luck to everybody. Honestly, like it's tough out there no matter what, we're all trying to make money and feed our families and all the rest of it. But if you sell the thing that you do, you've got to understand that the reason why you're so good at it is because it's you, not because it's the strategy.
Right.
Right?
It's a little bit like a personal trainer that's got really good genes, has always loved rugby and always been
built to
sporty.
it. Yeah.
It's not going to be exactly the same
No.
if someone follows your exact diet plan or whatever.
No, and that's the thing. And ask me how I know this, right? Because
How do you know this?
thanks, Matt. I taught LinkedIn strategy for 10 years. Yeah. And the secret to my success is doing the same thing over and over again, which is why I know I'm going to have exactly the same success in this business, because I'm going to do the same things over and over again, right? Like, for somebody who is entrepreneurial and, TikTok diagnosed ADHD, like, I do not, I find it very difficult to focus on anything, but I am very, very good at being consistent. And I think focus and consistency are two different things.
How?
Because I can be consistent, as in, like, I can put a plan in place and execute on it, and then I can focus on creating a million different ways to make that thing happen.
Got
if
it.
that makes sense. I
Yeah.
use all my entrepreneurial creativity to think of a million different ways to say the same thing, basically. But the core thing stays the same.
Yeah.
And I think that's the secret to my success, if that makes sense. But, like, for me, it's instead of thinking, I've completely lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. You can edit that out. Don't edit out. You can edit out or not. I'm not actually that bothered. Oh, I was talking about, so I taught LinkedIn for 10 years. Now, LinkedIn, I was really good at it because it was me. So LinkedIn is just a platform, and I was really good at it because what I did is I was just me on there. But what I did was, this is how I use LinkedIn. So I post about myself, I talk about my business, I do video, because it's me and I like being on video. Now, I didn't used to. And I sell all the time because it's me. So that's how I do everything. Yeah. I like to show up. I like to talk. I like to sell. That's it. That's how I market. It's not that complicated. So I just started to teach this. It's like, you use LinkedIn and you do these 3 things a day. You add people every day. You engage with people every day. You put out content every day. And that's the strategy. And I made 3 million quid selling it to people. Which seems mad, right? Because I teach it for free. I've just taught it you, right?
Yeah.
It's really simple. But people wanted to buy from me because it was me. And then what I realised is that 80% of the people who bought got it, and they just got on with it and they did it. They showed up every day. They did it. They talked about themselves, talked about their business, sold their stuff. Yeah, and it worked like gangbusters for them. Yeah, and that's why people love me. That's why I got all the testimonials and all that kind of stuff, right? Happy days. But it actually really worked because it was them.
Yeah.
And the 20% it didn't work for, if that's probably a bit high, but let's say the 10% it didn't work for, used to drive me insane. I had sleepless nights. I've got this quite iconic, I think, webinar, like Zoom call in my program. It's still there, actually. And it's called I've Not Made My Money Back. So what I said was, anyone who's not made your money back, come on this call and let's make sure you get a return on your investment, right? So loads of people signed up. I was like, fuck. And you're like, oh my God, how have all these people not made their money back yet? Because it was only $1,000 then.
Right.
How have you not made £1,000 from LinkedIn since you've been bought my program? Like, this is terrible. So I got them all on a call. Ended up being, I think it's about 2.5 hours long in the end. So I was like, right, Jane, tell me what's going on. She said, well, I've not made my money back. I've not had a single lead from LinkedIn. Okay, great. Got my phone out, go up to LinkedIn. I was like, Jane, you've not posted for 3 days. Well, yeah, but, I've been really busy because of this, that, and the other. And it's like, oh, but you've not done your headline. Well, I didn't really like the template, so I just thought...
So they hadn't followed the strategy.
So I haven't followed the strategy, right? So I was like, oh, so the next person. Then you can see people like, oh, shit. I didn't realise she was going to actually look at what we've been doing or not doing. I'd look at someone and be like, oh, you're a complete dickhead. That's why it's not worked for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you write ridiculous posts that nobody wants to buy from you. Like, you never sell your stuff, or you're putting out stupid videos that make no sense. It's not working for you because it's you. And then I was like, oh, shit. This is a problem.
Do you think charisma, personality, likability, that stuff can be taught? Or is it just that some people need to not build a personal brand?
B. The answer is B. Yeah. Like, because...
How can someone know? Because I think people, not everybody, but there are people that really lack self-awareness. And that's like that is the problem, because they can do every course and come to everything and even implement it. But actually, the core fundamentals is, look at how you're showing up. Like, nobody's going to buy into you because, like you say, the things you're saying or how you're saying it.
Or just your energy generally. Yeah. The thing is, it's like recruitment, right? So I used to be in recruitment, and I used to recruit on both sides of the table. So I've been in agencies. I've never run an agency. I'd love to, though. If anyone out there wants me to get involved in their recruitment agency, it's just the best business model in the world. It's like printing money. I don't want to run it, but I would love to be involved in one. Anyway, recruitment was like really frustrating, because as soon as everyone knows this, as soon as you get somebody in an interview, you'd know straight away you're never going to get the job. Look at you. Instantly. Like, you can't walk, you can't talk, you can't brush your hair, you can't speak, or whatever it might be. This is not going to be the job for you. There is a job for you, but it ain't this. Because we need people that can walk, talk, speak, and brush their hair, right? There's plenty of jobs out there that don't need you to be able to present.
Just the wrong fit.
The wrong fit. Right, and there's a lot of people who are the wrong fit for personal brand.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're a bad person, it's just that they've not got it in them. So this was actually the thing that I kind of, when I was really annoyed at why people weren't getting a result, and I was looking at why, and what I realised, so let's forget the 10% people that just can't do it. You know what I mean? They're just not personable or likeable. They're the wrong fit. So we've got all these other people who are trying, but just not doing it. So it's those people that I really wanted to help. And I spent a lot of time talking to them. I spent a lot of time trying to help them, like one-to-one, a lot of time and money, basically, trying to understand why they weren't able to do what I was doing. And I've realised that it comes down to three things. So energy, personality, bandwidth. So everyone's got a different level of energy, yeah? Like, in terms of, like, how they are as a person. If you haven't got the energy within you, haven't got the type of energy that wants to be on social media, whether it's LinkedIn or anywhere else, it's always going to feel like hard work. If you don't have that kind of energy within you that says, I want to connect with people and share with people and build relationships with people, it's just not going to work. And if you haven't got the personality that likes to be in front of people, most successful people that I see online are natural celebrity archetypes. They love it. I love it. You love it, right? Yeah. They want to be seen. They want to be the person with the answers. It's all show business, isn't it, right?
Look at me.
Yeah, it is. It's look at me,
Yeah.
When I do, like, the inner child work, the thing I got bullied for, really, apart from being annoying, which I was, and kissing someone else's boyfriend, which I did, was being like this all the time. Me, I know.
It is within us, that's our personality type.
It's like, all my life I've wanted to be the one with the answers. Like, it was the thing that I got moved up a year at school. I did everything a year early. I smashed all my GCSEs, and even though I'd wagged off and gone raving for the last 2 years. You know what I mean? Like,
you still managed,
yeah. Because I'm a lifelong learner and teacher. It's not like I went into business to learn and teach. It's like I've done it all my life. I've always wanted to have the answers and tell people.
Do you think there's a danger with that being your personality type, being me, look at me, I have all the answers? Like, is it healthy?
It doesn't matter whether it's healthy or not, it just is.
But
right?
it does. Like, I think it's an important thing to reflect on. Is it healthy?
Well, the personality is not going to change. How you apply that. So putting yourself out there.
Yeah, because this is an important thing. I think
yeah.
There's an element when we talk about things like self-development and so on, and changing behavioural patterns, changing, rewiring and all that kind of stuff in your brain. I believe in that, and I think there's an element of that. And at the same time, the way I think of it, whether it's right or wrong, is we all have a naturally inbuilt personality type.
Yes.
And we're all almost like on a spectrum. So some people are more naturally, they like discipline, they like structure. Other people like more spontaneity. And I think, again, coming back to the self-awareness piece, I think it's really useful to try and analyze how much is just who you are and lean into the strengths of that and work on, supporting the weaknesses, let's say, and how much is it things you can teach. And I think coming back to what we're speaking about in terms of personal branding, this is the reason it's just not ever going to be right for some people, and that's
100%.
okay.
Yeah,
because it's just not who they are.
Exactly. But this is what I realised by speaking to all these people is they were trying it because they could see me doing it, and they wanted to get the results I got, but they just couldn't do it. And there's nothing that you're fighting all the time, so it always feels difficult. It's like me being in an admin job. I can do it, but every day I'd be so, and I've done them. So I used to come home and cry because I was just it was so misaligned with who I am. So it's not about right or wrong. It's just being aware, like you say about self-awareness. And
what can we do to help that? Because we're out marketing our product, and we need to attract the right people.
Yes.
But naturally, you're going to attract people that go, oh, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
And they're not the right fit. Is the things as an industry we should be doing better?
I think it's getting people to be more self-aware. Getting people to self-select more.
How do we do that? What part can we play in that?
So this is basically what my new business is. It's because so we've got energy, we've got personality, and we've got bandwidth. So bandwidth is something that I had no understanding of until I had to. Yeah. So in 2020, things happened which I won't share on here. Some people will know privately, but a couple of things happened. So some good things happened personally. So I met Stu, fell in love, got married, blended a family. So that was really good. Some bad things happened personally, like with my children, with their mental health, and with school and things like that. And like my bandwidth suddenly, which was all really available for business, because my children were sort of healthy and happy. I was single. I didn't really have anything going. You know what I mean? I kind of like had all this time in the world, really. I was a, strong, independent, single mum, doing my thing, children at high school, and I had bandwidth to put into my business. Then, I mean, obviously lockdown had its own effects, but having to take my attention and give it all to my children, and I mean all, like at one point, I had to physically be with one of my children, like for days on end. And emotionally, my bandwidth was given to that, but also in a good way to my new relationship and being all in the honeymoon period and everything. And then suddenly I was like, wow, my business I'm still showing up and doing my thing, but it's like almost like a cardboard cutout of me, It's almost like my business from the outside looks fine, but if you were to push the set over, do you know what I mean? I'm not really there.
You're just reading the script.
I'm just doing the thing because it's ingrained in me to do it. And then from the outside, you wouldn't have known.
Right.
Because I was still showing up. I was going from like crying in my car to like, hi, on a live, doing it and all the rest of it. But there's so much stuff going on. And my bandwidth was so small that I realised that some people have got that going on all the time. So when I was like, well, just post all the time, post 3 times a day or 4 times a day or whatever it might be, people are just like, when? And I'm like, well, just when you go to the toilet.
Yeah.
I just didn't really have that concept. So what I now do is I talk about this concept of energy, personality, and bandwidth and get people to self-assess themselves.
Great.
You know what I mean? Of like, okay, well, this is my kind of the energy I've got available. Like, for example, let me use challenges as an example. You do challenges. I do challenges. I absolutely love them. Challenges are definitely not dead, by the way, just for the record.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just for the record.
Yeah.
But challenges, if you don't know what they are, in my world anyway, they're a 5-day experience for people. I do a live every night. There's a task every morning. It's fast, it's furious. There's thousands of people, like hundreds of people on the live. It's the best thing ever. It's like me going on tour.
Yeah. I love it.
I fucking
it's the best
love
thing.
it.
It is one of the best things we do, isn't it?
It's the best thing I do.
And I think part of it is because you're able to impact so many more people, because not everybody's going to buy your program, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like you still can get them a result.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that, like you say, you're on tour, it's your Taylor Swift moment. You've got the big audience and you're able to move and shift something for so many people.
Yeah, exactly. Without the expectation of them buying as well, because it's a free challenge, right? Love it, right? You love it, I love it. There's so many things. I could talk about challenges all day about how great they are and how they really help you with your own confidence, with your own experience, with your own connection with your audience, there's so many benefits.
Bringing
of challenges.
a new audience
Bringing
as well.
in new audiences. Like, we love them, right? They're short, they're intense,
which is how my mind works best.
Yeah, this is how you and I work best, yeah?
Yeah.
Not everyone can
for
do
everyone. Yeah.
The reason why we love them is because we love them because we've got the right energy, personality, and bandwidth for them.
Yeah,
We can give out everything we've got for 5 days, and then we can chill. Like you said, I'm knackered. Yeah, you're always knackered afterwards. You always have a post-challenge come down because it's like being on tour, right? I love them, right? And I love them and you love them because we've got the right energy, personality, and bandwidth. Now, compare that with somebody who hasn't got the same energy, personality, bandwidth. And a lot of people come to me and say, help me run challenges. Yeah? Great. Like we were talking about how it's basically the same structure. You just put a different show pony in. Yeah, this is how it all works. You literally, here's the, here's the Google document that's got everything in it
All
you'd
the
ever
back end,
need.
yeah.
And you just change the bits to
Yeah.
change for your product, your service, your offer, and you show up as the show pony, right? Should work for everybody, but it doesn't.
Because of these 3 things.
Because of these 3 things. Because they haven't got the right energy, personality, bandwidth. They fucking hate it.
So your work now is about helping people identify what their thing is.
Yeah, what works for them. So challenges work for me. So there's no point me teaching challenges to everybody, right? Because they don't work for everybody. But public speaking, let's use that as an example, right? People love it. You love it, I'm guessing, because you do a lot of it. It's short. You get on there.
Don't like the travel.
You do, yeah, exactly. You got to get yourself there. You get on. Everyone's looking at you. You're on the stage. People are on your every word. You come off. Everyone wants to talk to you, shake your hand, hug you, kiss you, take pictures. Usually in the toilet because I'm normally running for a wee. And then people are like, "Oh my god, that was amazing! Can we have a picture?" I'm like, "Yeah, but we're in the toilet."
Yeah.
But yeah, right. Public speaking, great for business. Yeah, I hate it.
Ah.
I
Now I'm
hate
starting to understand
Right?
why you're always in the audience.
I'm always in the audience, right?
Why? What is
so,
it?
public speaking, it's good for business. So, what I did about 2 years ago is that people were saying, come and do a talk, come and do it. I've done lots of little talks, people to do a talk. So, you know what? I'm going to give this public speaking thing a go. I hate it, but I used to hate doing video.
So
now
keep
I love
going.
it. So, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say yes to everything. I'm just going to do it. It's going to be my public speaking era. Yeah. So, I started doing it. 100 people, 150 people, 200 people, 300 people, up and up and up. And then I ended up doing EMC in Brighton, which was 1,500 people. Stage, Michael McIntyre had been there the week before, I'm all mic'd up. Fucking massive pictures of me. Don't know if you can dig it out, but you'll see me on the stage going, oh my God, it's me.
Wow.
Massive, just like being on a proper stage, right?
By the way, I was there. I don't know if I was there that year, but I don't remember you.
Well, you mustn't have seen me then.
Must have been in the toilet having a picture taken.
So I get to the pinnacle of, basically public speaking for me anyway.
Yeah,
It's big deal.
Massive.
And what I realised, I'd done maybe 30 speaking gigs maybe that year, and I'd hated every single one of them. I'd hated the travel. I'd hated the stress, the pressure, that bit just before you go on stage where you feel sick and all the rest of it. And although I felt amazing when I came off the stage, and it was good for business, what I realised, it actually made me horrible for about 3 weeks before. So as it would come around, I'd start thinking about it, and then I'd start getting a bit stressed about it, and then I'd start being a bit less present with my family about it, and then I'd start causing arguments with my husband about it. Not about it, about something completely different, but it was because of that.
Because it's just there.
It's just there. It's like having homework due in.
Do you want me
time.
to surprise you?
Go on.
I feel really similar.
Really? But you do it anyway?
But I'm questioning doing it.
Really? That does surprise me.
I thought it would.
Yeah, it does surprise me.
I've spent a lot of years on stage, but I've spent a lot of years on stage being somebody else.
Oh,
And I
interesting.
do really relate to everything you're saying. And we spoke earlier about I've not been sleeping as well, and my mind's on. And part of me was like, because we were speaking about how we both stopped drinking alcohol, and it's a bit of a challenge that we've set ourselves. Not that it's challenging, we're not alcoholics, really struggling. Just to be clear, like we just, it's something we set for ourselves. And part of the things was, alcohol can just like obviously help you switch off,
Dial
and
it down a
dial
bit,
it down, and then I was like, oh, I've been thinking a lot. Maybe it's because but actually, part of me was like, I'm on stage in 2 weeks
Yeah.
at Expert Empires. And I recognise in
gig.
my own event, so it's our 6th event coming up in April, always in the run up to that, I don't sleep. And it's not, and it's kind of what you're talking
It's that
about.
underlying thing.
Yeah, it's not, I'm actually thinking about that all the time. It's just almost like the subconscious is very aware, which means I'm a bit more ratty.
Yeah.
I don't, and I have been questioning because I love challenges so much. I love the online stuff so much.
Yeah.
If I'm going to keep doing in person.
That's really
talks.
interesting. So I made an executive decision to stop doing it. And I've never felt better.
Oh, don't say that.
Only because I know that 2026 I've got no speaking gigs.
And it feels good.
And it feels fucking great. because I can just go to events. I always say, like, I just go to events as a punter and I make as much money talking to people
Right.
in the toilets
Right.
as I do off the stage, right? And that's probably not true. It's just me trying to defend my decision.
Yeah.
But I haven't got the energy, personality, and bandwidth to do public speaking, and I'm just going to make that choice.
This might be a realization moment for me.
But it's just, like, let's look at events then, because that's another obviously
It's
thing.
another thing I'm considering not doing again.
Really, and I know, like.
By the way, this one's still going ahead if you got tickets, just to be clear.
But it's really interesting because remember at the CEO day, we won't say who, but somebody there was saying, I don't know if I'm going to do my event again because of that, right? So I had a call, and we both know this person, and people listening might know, and I won't name her because it's quite funny, but I did say this to her, so it's not like behind her back. But she messaged me, and she was like, Helen, you need to do an event. You have to do an event. She's an events coach, you know, so she's obviously pitching me, which is fine. She's like, you've done your book, you need to do an event. You can make 100 grand off an event. And I was like, babe.
This is one of 3 people I'm thinking who it is.
I was like, babe, I love you. I hate doing events. I have done events before. I hate all the hassle, the logistics, making sure everyone's okay, like the way you can get cancelled if you haven't got the right people and all the rest of it. Like, I was like, whoa, not for me. And then I know the 100K doesn't come in the room. It comes in the follow-up and all the rest
it's all
of it,
the
right?
other bits, yeah.
I said, babe, there's easier ways for me to make 100K.
Yeah.
Sitting in my stretchy
and
pants,
there is.
doing challenges in my
yeah.
office at home where I can do my thing, turn the button, not say bye, I love you, bye guys, turn the button, and then just go back to my life. Not be in a hotel in London picking up leaflets and shit people have dropped and and all that kind of, like, just not for me. Now, what I said to her is, I know events are your thing and I love you for it and I love your events and I love you and I think you're great. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Energy, personality and bandwidth. And I feel like there's so many people out there both buying things that they're never going to execute on because they haven't got those 3 things right, but selling things that people will execute on because, and this is the other thing, people sell things and then people aren't executing on whatever it might be, strategy or whatever it might, methodology. They're just not finding the right people with the right energy, personality, bandwidth. So us as people selling need to be really conscious of getting people to make sure it's right for them as much as we need to be conscious that what we're doing is right for us. And I think that was my huge realization of, we don't have to do things we don't want to do anymore. Guess what? And that my biggest thing now is telling people to not do things. So, like, I had a turbo call the other day. I do these like 50-minute phone calls normally from bed, and it sounds more exotic than it is. But I did a couple of those early morning ones, and I thought I can't be asked getting up because I like to be on the phone. And she said to me, I can't get to grips with Instagram. I just can't work it out. I said, just don't do it, babe. Just do something else. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. Like, you get to choose, and
I think just to jump in there, I think there's an element of, there's also a check of, have you really tried?
Yeah, of
as
course.
Well? Because I think
like
people give up too early. Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to be like, people say to me, I hate LinkedIn. I'm like, well, do you like money? And they're like, yeah, well, would you like to make 100 grand out of LinkedIn next year? And they're like, yeah, well, get on with LinkedIn then.
Let's give it a proper go.
Give it a proper go.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I think you're right. You got to give things a proper go. Like I did with speaking. It wasn't like I did one talk and I thought, oh, didn't like that, I'm not going to do it again. I kept going. I kept going. I got bigger and bigger. And, I just hated it more and more rather than loved it more and more or got over it myself. I didn't like doing... Did I like doing challenges? I think I did like doing challenges, but I didn't like my first ever video. I hated it. So you've got to give it a go. But you love Instagram because you love it and you get it and you understand it. I love Facebook because I love it. I got a business partner who's like never uses personal Facebook for anything. I was like, oh my God, you're missing such an opportunity. And she was like, yeah, I just do Instagram. And I mean, I'm forcing her to do Facebook because I know she'll make a lot of money on there.
And you do try a bit of Instagram.
And I do try a bit of Instagram.
Yeah.
But you love Instagram, right? So
Yeah.
you're always going to find it difficult to understand why somebody wouldn't love it.
I hate LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I love LinkedIn. It's made me millions of pounds. LinkedIn to me is like the easiest, most obvious platform to get clients on.
Well, that's one of my questions. Convince me.
I can convince you about LinkedIn. So who's your ideal client?
She's called Jess.
Yes.
She's a frustrated online coach.
Yes.
She could be a life coach or a personal trainer. She's in her 40s. She's currently predominantly trading time for money with one-to-one. She's thought about doing a group course or a membership, but she just doesn't have a clue how she would do that.
Great. So what you do is you write your LinkedIn profile like this. So your headline is helping online coaches start group programs, make more money, have more fun, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we get that down. Boom.
That's the headline, the most important bit.
Yeah.
That's the bit that goes underneath your name. It's not like a stupid Instagram profile where you have to have bio, where you have to have a link in bio, right? You have the headline, that's the pitch.
You have that as well on Instagram.
Yeah, but it doesn't follow you around, does it?
Yeah, it's your
No,
bio.
it's just your name. It's just your name. You have to click on it to see it. The headline comes with you on LinkedIn. Anyway.
What does that mean?
So what
do
it
you
means
mean
is,
it comes with you?
so your headline says helping online coaches, yeah, XYZ, right?
When I look at your profile.
Yeah. So
But that's the same as Instagram.
No, it's the headlines. The headline's different to the profile, right?
Okay.
So you have your name,
Yeah.
Paul, and then you have your pitch, basically helping blah blah blah, the bio bit, yeah. You got 220 characters, so you have that in there, and you have Success School, £35 a month, and you have whatever event you've got coming up next, yeah.
I'm gonna get my phone out. I'm sure this sounds just like Instagram.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So far you get it, right?
I get it.
Yeah, and then you've got 1,700 characters to write your profile bio.
Okay. This is like the proper.
So then so the headline's a separate section.
Yeah.
Then under that is your about me section.
Yeah. So this is different. Okay.
So then you say like, are you a business coach, life coach, online coach
Yeah.
who is feeling this kind of way? Yeah.
So you can put a bit
Feeling
more
frustrated,
depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel these things are happening? Do you want these things? So you can talk about the outcomes that you deliver. Then you go, if so, I can help. I am Matt Hall. I am this person. I do this thing. This is what Success School is. This is what the event is. This is how much it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is why now is the time. And then this is the call to action at the end. Yeah. So you say, send me a DM on here to find out more, right? So you've got a really big bit of copy
Which
there.
that is better than Instagram.
That is better, right?
You can kind of do your pinned post at the top with an about me video and post, but yeah,
you have
okay.
this like profile, and then we've not finished yet.
Oh gosh, there's
right?
more.
There's more.
Right, okay.
So that's your about section. You've got a big bit there. Then underneath that, you can pin, posts that you've done. So you can pin your posts with your videos on. That's hi, I'm Matt. Blah blah blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can pin your video there. You can pin your testimonials. You can pin
Okay.
You can have a carousel there, pinning, and then underneath that, you've got all of your posts. Well, show you the last few posts. You can go. It says like what recent activity. So you see all your posts, all your videos, all your stuff there. Then underneath that, and then this is the best bit, is your recommendations. So I've got about 500 recommendations, all clickable, all real people. So you can go to any of those, and they're all big bits of content as well. And it'll say, Matt Hall, helping online coaches, whatever. Helen's amazing.
So these are almost like your collaborators, the people you endorse.
Yeah, exactly. So you've done me a testimonial. That sits on your profile and my profile.
Right, got
and
it.
people can click between the two and see that we are real people with real profiles and real
Nice.
audiences. So that's the profile. Now, the best thing really is that LinkedIn will tell you how many people have viewed your profile and who's viewed you. So you can see who's actually looking at you.
And then you can follow it up.
You can follow it up. So you've got this, and every time you do activity, your profile views will go up. So it's got a very strong cause and effect. So you know that what you're doing is working because people are coming to read that landing page that you've written for them. So then we can start putting out content like you would anywhere else. You can do posts, you can do videos, you can't do reels, but you can do, they did do stories for a bit and then they dropped it. But you can do video, you can do posts, you can write longer form articles. You can also have a newsletter that people subscribe to that goes out to people. And then this is the really good bit, is that you can then go and search for online coach or live coach, all the different coaches. You can get one of your team or my daughter Katie to go and find these people, and you can just search life coach America, whatever you want to look at, or LEEDS, and then you can
Probably
see
a bit closer.
you can see all the people that are on LinkedIn that are life coaches in LEEDS, and then you can just ask to connect with them.
And you'll know if they've looked at your profile, checked you out.
Yeah.
And to be clear, when you said your daughter does it, this is literally what her business is, right?
Yeah, she literally, in her pyjamas, logs on. You give her a list of job titles. She'll go and find them, and she'll ask them to connect with you. And what you can do is be really, really specific. So when I used to do it for, we used to do Facebook ads for recruitment for my agency. So I'd say, like, helping HR directors in distribution hire better people faster using Facebook ads, and then I'd only connect with HR directors in distribution, so that when the connection request came in, what they'd see underneath the connection request say like Helen, well Pritchard then, but wants to connect, and it'll say helping HR directors in distribution. So she, Sarah, who's sitting there minding her own business, thinks that's me.
So it's so much more specific, direct. And also, I do think there's an attitude that people are more there to do business. It's a more of a career style
room.
platform.
This episode is sponsored by Laura Robson and Back Pocket Office. Now, let me tell you about this one. Laura is somebody you need in your life. I have got her in my life, and all I can say about her is I don't know how I'd live without her. And it's true. If you're anything like me, you will hate tech. You'll be great at launching and creating the marketing material and delivering on the actual product that you're selling. But when it comes to the back end, making sure it's all automated and it all works, I just can't be bothered. And if you're the same, Laura is the solution. Laura is a systems strategist, and she's also a certified launch and funnel specialist. And if you are a service provider, if you're a coach, consultant, any kind of online business that provides some kind of online service, then Laura is there to help sort out all your funnels and systems for you. With over 14 years experience, she's somebody who's going to get you solutions quick. She's easy to speak to, very approachable, and just really friendly and nice, basically. So if you are ready to get your systems and your funnels all sorted for you and work with one of the best in the business, go check out backpocketoffice.co.uk and connect with Laura on socials. The links are literally right below this episode in the show notes. Go click it, and I mean this. Go and do it now. You will not regret it.
It is, and people are there to do business and make money, right? So no one's offended if you try and sell
that's the
something.
difference.
Well,
Whereas Instagram, they just want to see people on Love Island, and
it's that
it's a different
lifestyle
vibe.
stuff. Yeah. So the other thing about the headline though is, so when you do a post, underneath at the top of your post, it'll say Matt Horn. It'll say helping coaches get online, basically, whatever it says. So every time you post, it has your whole pitch above your, not just your name, but the whole bio, if you like, above it.
Yeah.
And then every time you comment, so let's say you came to my post, and this is one of the things I teach, is to go and be nice to people on the internet and put nice comments on. Not so that people are like, oh wow, Helen's really nice. It's so people can see my headline, which says helping XYZ, right? So that's the difference, really, is that you have this much more rich profile because you can have so much on there. It becomes like a website, and then you drive traffic asking to connect with the right people. The right people are called out in the headline, so they have that resonance, and then people just see you around and they see your bio.
Do you teach it anymore?
I do inside my program, yeah. It's all.
But it's no longer the thing you lead with.
It's no longer like my front of house, kebab shop,
Tell us a bit about that. So, because I still don't actually know anything about your past, really, other than the conversations we've had. So, what brought you to this online world and the LinkedIn and doing the whole online teaching space stuff?
Yeah, so it came through, like most things, sheer desperation.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I was in deep shit in 2010, like really deep shit. I was about 90 grand in personal debt. A single mum, 2 kids under 5, usual sad story. I live around here though, so it's, I was all right.
It wasn't that sad.
I wasn't like Dan Meredith always says. I wasn't like eating out of a bin or anything.
Okay.
I'm from a lovely, middle class family who would never going to see me destitute. But yeah, my marriage broke down in 2010. My house was going to get repossessed. We were in a lot of personal debt because we'd gone through the recession, and it was that time of easy credit and all that kind of stuff and self-cert mortgages. So I was in a bit of a financial hole, not opened my post for about 3 years, that kind of vibe. I was a reflexologist, so I used to rub up feet for cash. I was a really good reflexologist, actually, and that's interesting because it took me a while to let go of that identity because I was so good at it, and I made money doing it, and people loved me, and I had a waiting list, and people just, But I was ultimately swapping time for money.
Yeah.
And then when I was found myself single with these 2 little kids, I couldn't do evenings and weekends, which is when most of my clients were. So I was really, like I talk about bandwidth, my bandwidth was changed, right? So I wasn't able to do it, and obviously didn't have another income coming in. So I'd started to think about how I could help people without swapping time for money. And I'd got all of my clients through social media, through Facebook and Twitter in those days. And I thought, well, maybe I could do this for people. I could run their socials for them, basically. And I remember thinking, well, how am I going to get a client for this? Because I've got no money. I had really bad mental health problems as well. So like I was in the private when I was 16. So I was like struggled really badly with my mental health when I was a teenager, and then of like anxiety and panic attacks and agoraphobia and stuff. So like I didn't have the confidence. So I looked at something like networking, for example. It's like 15 quid. And I was like, well, I haven't got 15 quid. That's like packed lunches for the week. So I'm not gonna spend that on going to an event. I haven't got the confidence. I just feel like I'll have a panic attack if I've got to stand up and talk in front of anyone. So I can't go to it. And it's at 6 a.m. So how the hell am I supposed to get there? You know, then in 2010, it was all very pale, male, stale, let's go networking in the, you know, at the golf club kind of stuff. So I thought, well, I can't do any of that. And I'd been to the shop and I'd going around with the kids, and I think I used to do reflexology for 40 quid, and I think I'd put 20 quid, I'd got 40 quid cash, put 20 quid to petrol and a 20 quid to buy the stuff for the week for the kids. So I like went around buying stuff for tea, buying packed lunch stuff, and I got to the till, and Sheila, who still works there now, she said, yeah, it's 23 quid or something. And I was like, oh, I said, I've only got 20 quid. So I had no credit, no access to any cards or anything like that, because it was all, my credit was in the bin. And she said, oh, it's all right, we'll just put some stuff back. And I remember I was going bright red. I was like, about to have a panic attack. The kids are crying because I'm probably putting their stuff back. I remember going and sitting in the car that my dad had bought me, because my ex had took the car, and my dad had bought me this Renault Clio 1.2. I loved it, actually. It was fine. But my dad had bought me this kind of like £1,000 car to keep me going. I remember sitting in this car with the kids crying with my shopping, just thinking, this is it. Do you know what I mean? You're 30 years old. You're like, you're not able to buy your kids food. And I just had that, it really was that like moment, you know. And I went home and I thought, right, I've got to get a client, I've got to get some money in. And I thought, I still teach this now, I was like, how much money do I want to make? And I was like, right, well, if I can make $2,500 a month, that is like, I couldn't even imagine that amount of money. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, that would be able to pay my debts. I'd be able to, you know, pay my uncle who'd bought my house so I didn't get repossessed. And I was like, right, $2,500, I couldn't even imagine it. But I thought, if I can get 10 people to give me £250 a month, then that's it. But right, so what could I do for £250 a month? Well, I could do their social media for them, right? I could help them with social media. I could do 5 posts on Facebook and 5 on Twitter, and I could do whatever. So I like back of a fag packet, probably literally then, and like, you know, just scrolled it down, necking my £3 bottle of wine. I always buy wine from the top shelf now. I feel like a millionaire. No, rather than at the bottom, trying to get the £5 bottle out. And the other, like when I put petrol in, I'm just like that, not even looking at the thing. And I just think, God, I'm so rich. I'm so abundant.
Has it been a weird, I know, sorry to cut off the story, but just that from an identity standpoint, from being there to making millions like you have now.
It's mad. It's, I mean, I could talk all day about how much making money fucks you up, because when you're not ready for it and you're not used to it, you're not prepared for it, and you're not educated for it, it's. And
that's the journey you went on.
Oh yeah. I turned into someone I didn't even recognise, because I was just like, who's this person? You know, it was a difficult.
In what way?
Well, this is interesting because now I'm back on the journey again. It's like I want to do it in a different way. I was just
so the first one was like out of desperation.
Yeah, like the second one is the first build was started through desperation. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like from that moment in the car, I went online and I found LinkedIn, and that's really how I started using LinkedIn, and I got my clients and all the rest of it. And then I only really went online. I didn't really make tons of money, but I did make $2,500 a month, right? Which is tons of money when you've got no money.
It was the goal.
It was the goal, right? Hit the goal, right? What's next? And that's when I grew it into an agency, and we started doing the recruitment through Facebook ads and stuff. And I had a really good thing then. It's a little bit early. I was probably about 5 years too early. But I did have a good thing then. We were sort of successful, but I ran a big agency, so I had like 10, 11 staff, had an office in town, you know, motivational shit on the walls, car parking spaces, you know, all that stuff. So I've kind of lived the agency life. Got an investor. It didn't particularly go that well in the end, but I realised that I'd given myself a job that I hated.
Right.
I hated having to go to work. I hated having to manage people and that kind of stuff, which is quite a familiar story. But when I went online, I was actually at the golf club, the one that I couldn't afford to go to, but I used to go all the time. And this guy said to me, like, where are you getting all these clients from? You know, where I was working with like Eddie Stobart's and Lakeland Plastics and like all these big clients that I got on LinkedIn. And because they come to me, you see, I wasn't DMing anyone. They were coming to me because they see my headline and be like, "Oh, that's me. Like, can you?" And I'd have my prices in my headline as well. You charge $3K a month, and they'd message me like, "I've just seen your profile. Like, I've just seen your headline, and like, is that what you charge? $3,000 a month?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then people say to me, "God, normally you have to have 8 meetings till we get to that."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "No, it's $3,000 a month for everybody, and it doesn't matter whether you're Eddie Stobart's or someone around the corner. It's the same."
And they appreciated that transparency.
Oh,
and-
100%. Yeah. So I used to get 10 clients and I'm making $30,000 a month, right? So it's the same model.
Yeah.
Anyway, a guy in a cheap suit said to me at this event, he said, "How are you getting all these clients?" And I was like, "Oh, I get them all on LinkedIn." And he said, "Well, what's your strategy?" And I was like, "Well, I got a napkin." I was like, "This is what I do. I just told you." And he's like, "No, that's not how LinkedIn works." I went, "Oh, right." He said, "No, you got to have a DMing strategy. You've got to like, you know, how's it?" And I was like, "Oh no, they come to me." And he was like, "That's not how it works." And I was like, "Okay." And then seeing him a couple of weeks later, and he was like, "Oh my God, guess what?" I was like, "I did what you said." And people, and I was like, "Yeah, I know." And he said, "You should teach this." And I was like, "Do you think?" I was like, "But it's really obvious." And he was like, "No." He said, "I've done loads of LinkedIn training. I've been to workshops. I've done online things." He said, "No one teaches it like this."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I wish I knew who that man was." I'm hoping if I keep talking about him, sorry about what I said about your suit, but yeah, get in touch because I owe you a pint, right?
And she might get you a better suit.
Yeah. So I went online, and that was really when you must remember your first, like, you know, when you first land on Planet Insanity, as I call it. You know, you land and you're like, "What is going on here? This is both exciting, terrifying, confusing, and weird, but I can see the opportunity."
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, I'm just going to do what everyone else does." And I just did what everyone else does. So I did everything that everyone else does. I built an online business. I did challenges. I launched.
What about mentors and coaches? Did you invest in that?
I sort of did in a roundabout way because the first person I really got involved with online was Denise Duffield Thomas, and I just adore her. Like, and I think she's amazing. And everything I've done really has been in homage to her because not in what I do, but in terms of how I do it.
Right.
You know, the way she runs a business is smart. And I remember I invested in that, and it's £1,500, which I didn't have. Put it on a credit card, and I was shaking. I was just like, I remember thinking, this is the worst thing ever. I put it on a credit card, and I logged in, and I went to the Facebook group, and I'd paid $1,500. And I think at that time she had 2,000 people in that group. And I remember I sat on my bay windowsill, and I got my big computer, and I added it up, and I was like, "Fuck me."
I bet you didn't add in the tax though, did you? And the
No.
Stripe fees,
No.
which you would now.
I didn't. Yeah, exactly. I just was like, the
yeah.
affiliate fees. I just thought, wow. So my whole goal with them was to start a program and get it to 2,000 people, which I did. And on that journey, obviously, I went into the whole thing. You know, I created my own, you know, island on Planet Insanity, and people joined me on it. You know, and I created this online business just like you've seen a million people do. I just followed the map really. In terms of investing in people to help me was with Phil Harrison. So Phil Harrison came on very early on. I did 3 for free as one of my strategies. So go and do your thing for free, and then the £99 thing. And when I was launching that, I did it in Dan's group, Dan Meredith's group, which is why I'll always give Dan all the love and all the credit. I even gave him £95 the other day. I joined his 3-week
Did you join it?
thing.
Were you on the webinar?
I did,
I was.
yeah.
I didn't join it. Sorry, Dan.
I put him on mute after about half an hour because I was like,
Went on a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did go on. But I thought, you know what? I just thought.
Do you know what my favourite thing was that he said?
What?
Because I've not heard the phrase before. It doesn't work if you've got the personality of a pebble.
Which is
comes
kind
to
of
what
what
we
I
were
was
talking
talking about. Yeah.
Like, go on, Dan.
So Dan in 2015, he gave me what I call my big break. He said, "Yeah, come in and do it." I did my 3 for free in his Free Shit Friday thread. So he used to do these massive threads, and everyone would swap stuff, and it was really good. And Phil got one. So he got one of my 3 for free. Phil Harrison, some people might know. And he did the one-to-one with me. And he said to me then, because I did in the one-to-one, although I was teaching LinkedIn, I was actually doing ideal client work.
Right.
Yeah, because if you don't know your ideal client, LinkedIn's a waste of time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it starts with that.
So I always start with the ideal client work. And Phil said to me, he said, "You know how you do ideal client work is not how anyone else does it." He's like, "You should teach it." So which I ignored him. But he said then the LinkedIn thing's really hot. He's like, I get it. Yeah. And he put me onto all of his PTs. So he used to teach PTs then. So I had this really enjoyable time of teaching PT after PT after PT. Some of them are in Australia, so they've got like no tops on. And Phil used to watch the things back and he'd be like, were you flirting with him? I was like, oh.
Such a hard life.
I was like, I can't even watch. It was just weird. So he got me to work with a lot of his clients. And then obviously he's seen how good I was. And he was just like, oh, this is amazing. You should. And I said, oh, I'm doing the challenges. And he said, oh, I know about doing challenges because I do them in the PT world. And he came to one of my challenges. So my early challenges, which I think are legendary, I used to do them in my pajamas with my hair on my head, and we used to do live with wine, right? So I used to do live with wine, which I still do, not in January though. Did live with Diet Coke, not the same. But I had no boundaries. I had no. So I just used to do Q&A. I used to do it for hours. I'd be drinking wine. I'd be absolutely smashed. I'd neck a bottle of Malbec and be answering questions for 3 hours. It was just insane.
God, yeah.
But, it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people remember those early days. But Phil said he was watching it, and he was just like, he said he had his head in his hands. He was like, what is she doing? What is she doing? And he said to me, look, I think you're great. I know you've not really got any money, but I think I can help you. So let me come and help you with your challenge strategy. And I'll still let you keep a lot of the charm. He said, because I can see
It's your thing.
people love it and it's your thing, right? But I think you could do with some structure. And he came into the business and he absolutely transformed it. So I think I've done about 120 grand on my own. And then I think I did 200. And then Phil came on board and I said, I'm going to make $1 million this year. And we fucking did. Do you know what I mean? Like he took a percentage of my revenue, which is what I now do for other people. It's so smart taking a percentage of revenue because you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. But, I needed him, and in some ways he needed me. So it was a great deal, and that's kind of like how it's on the table for my business partners now. But, yeah, he really got me to do some structure with it, you know what I mean, and make things work and all the other stuff that we know that works. And, he bought an Aston Martin. I made £1 million. We had a really good time. We were flying all around the world. We were flying to Thailand, business class and just living the life. And we just started making fucking loads of money. The launches went from 50k to 100k to 200k. I think we topped out about 300k. And it just got bigger and bigger and better and easier and easier. And I was just like, this is it. This is the life. Do you know what I mean? This is what I've been working for, and this is what I've been aiming for. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it was bad because it wasn't. It was fucking great. I was single. The kids were getting older. It was just great. I mean, there was a lot of downsides in some ways. There was a lot of negativity about me online because I was so new. I wasn't young, but I was naive. And I just wanted to tell everyone what to do and also everyone to love me. And there was a real friction there because I was like, my way is the way and there's no other way,
right.
Was my attitude.
Yeah.
Just
that's something
go
I've
with
had
it.
to learn and adapt.
Yeah. And when I came out, particularly in a niche like LinkedIn, which was full of very boring, apart from Leah, lots of love to Leah Turner, she's amazing.
Yeah.
But apart from me and Leah, I would say most people in the LinkedIn niche were fucking boring. And men. And Jesus, men do not like it when women, and Leo will have had this as well, but when women come into a space.
And they're doing it better than them.
And they do it better and bolder and brighter and, and then it's all, well, it's because you're blonde and you've got big tits and you're this and you're that. And it's like, and all the rest of it, I had more weight on me then, not those big boobs anymore. But it's, it was just pretty vile, to be honest, some of the stuff that I got, and I'm sure Leah got as well. But also I got a lot of love and a lot of appreciation. But what I used to do is argue in the comments with everyone. I don't do that anymore. Yeah. I try not to anyway.
Yeah. Still have the odd day.
Yeah, I still have the odd day. But I used to, and I talked about this on Mike's, Mike Winnett's podcast as well. But what was interesting about when I was on Mike's podcast, I talked about it, but in the comments on YouTube was like, I remember her, she was a fucking bitch. I remember her, she was horrible. I remember her, she was vile. Yeah, I mean, and I remember looking at the comments like, whoa, don't look at them. Because I was defensive and difficult. I couldn't see anyone else's point of view. And I was very, very like a cornered cat. Do you know what I mean? I was really, because I didn't have anyone in my life to say, babe, it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, Stu, if I said to my husband now, he'd say, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm arguing with a man from Bristol about
don't
whether
even know
my
his
waist
name.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he'd just be like, what are you talking about? But I don't know, I kind of got in it. I used to get quite, in it, you know.
But I also think, from what I'm hearing, is like that's been from where you were to then doing those £300,000 launches, and what you're doing is working, and you can get an ego with that,
Yeah,
and
you
you can be
do.
like, well, I'm fucking, I know it works or whatever, but then there's another level of evolution and growth
there is.
that takes time.
Yeah,
and
you
that's the
can't-
process.
You can't shortcut it. You can tell people like this is probably what you're going to go through, but until you've done it, you can't really shortcut it. And the thing is, I mean, I was a dickhead, 100%. Like, I'm not even trying to defend myself. Like, I've been really horrible to people online. In my only defence is I've never gone after anyone else. I've never gone after someone else and been horrible to them.
No,
or
that's
gone after
different.
another LinkedIn person and said, you're wrong.
No.
They were all coming to me, but then I would just be like...
You'd
I would-
respond.
and I wouldn't stop. I'd have to be getting my last word in. And it was just embarrassing, really. And I know I've probably been really horrible to people who, I mean, they probably won't be watching this because they won't watch a podcast with me on it. But you know what I mean? I do sometimes think, yeah, that wasn't great. But also people weren't great with me. And I have had people over the years come back to me and say, I fucking hated you. And I was horrible to you and I was horrible about you. Like I had one guy who messaged me, who's a really quite good friend of mine now. And he was like, when I met you, I was so triggered by you. Not only did I not like you, is I tried to convince everybody else not to like you.
Wow.
He said, I used to go around calling you and trying to get everyone else to not like you. And he said, and now I'm so embarrassed because I've watched you just get more and more successful now I'm exactly where I was.
Fair play
And
to him for admitting that.
Absolutely. Fair play. And I was like, honestly, I don't mind. You know, I've got no hard feelings personally, but I really appreciate you saying it. Like, you know, it takes a real man to do that, right? So that was really interesting. And I've had lots of people who don't like me who've blocked me and then unblocked me and then sort of realised
They're on
that-
their journey as well.
Yeah,
and
they're
this
on
is
their
the thing
thing,
we've
yeah.
always got to remember in the online space is we're all on journeys and we all go through phases.
We do.
And, you know, and I've had the same thing, people that didn't like me that do now, or times when I was a bit of a dick and
Yeah.
I was being influenced by a coach and things like that, and you learn from it. And I think it's really important to just remember we're all on that
all on
journey.
our journey. But I think from a personal point, when I was so successful, it did give me a lot of confidence, which definitely would tick into arrogance. Like people would say to me, "Oh, I've done this program, and this guy's told me that I shouldn't do this on LinkedIn that you've told me to do." And I'm like, "Has he made £3 million? Has he? Has he made £3 million selling LinkedIn training? No."
Yeah.
He's just a business coach who thinks he knows about LinkedIn. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I obviously have said those things. But on a personal level, I think the thing that reminds me of how I turned into a bit of a dick, I remember it was my mate's birthday and we went out with him and his family and a few of his friends. And we went to like a teppanyaki, you know, you just all sit around and you all eat your food and all that stuff. I bought champagne for everybody.
Wow.
I bought like 10 bottles of champagne at fucking 200 quid a pot. Why? For who? For what? Every time I went out, I'd pay the bill. I'd go to the toilet. Towards the end, I'd pay the bill.
I think there's something
It's
in
just
that,
like-
though, where it's part of the journey. I think when you've not had money.
I just wanted to pay for everything for everybody. I used to like go online and just donate money to anything I could find or anybody anywhere who's like got a GoFundMe. I'd be like giving them loads of money, like people having bikes stolen. I'd be like trying to buy bikes, and all that kind of stuff.
It feels good being
It does
able
feel
to.
good. It does feel good. And I don't mean like that was a bad thing. I can see the pattern of not being able to hold on to money.
Okay.
You know, as soon as it came in the business, I would invest it in something.
Right.
I still do that to myself, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's something I need to work on
yeah,
as well.
holding money, I think is the thing that we all need to learn, and it's something that if you're not used to it, you're not very good at it. As well as money management. And I won't bore you with all of my problems I've had over the years of HMRC and still continue to have in a lot of ways. You know, because when you make a lot of money, you just think you're going to make a lot of money forever. And you forget that anything could happen.
Yeah.
You can't predict a global pandemic.
Nope.
But that did happen.
Yeah.
And that was a devastating blow in a lot of ways.
Helen, we're going to have to wrap up.
Are we?
We are over time.
Is that what you keep looking over
and
there?
I'm gutted because there's so much more. But I firstly want to say you are going to be speaking in our membership, Success
Yes.
School. So if you're just getting a bit of a flavour, a bit of a taste for what Helen's about, but you actually want to hear Helen teach you, you're going to be joining us doing a full masterclass. So obviously make sure, if you haven't joined Success School, what the bloody hell are you
waiting
doing? Why are you
for?
listening to this anyway? You're not a proper member. Go and get a membership. But also, do you want to just tell people, if people want to connect with you, where they can follow you, how they can get
To
your
this
stuff?
camera.
Tell it wherever you want.
I can't talk to camera, it's
Anyway,
weird.
just tell me. I made it weird, haven't I? Just tell me,
You
where
made it so
can we
weird.
find you?
So you can find me on Facebook. That's my spiritual home. I love Facebook. It's my favourite place to hang out. So come and find me. Follow me on Facebook under Helen Tudor. I've also got my own podcast, the Ideal Client Attraction Podcast. So you can come and hear me talk more about all of these trials and tribulations. Because I got someone to interview me rather than me interviewing other people.
Nice.
So it's just a whole
Which
12 episodes
which
of
brings
me.
us full circle with me.
Me. I was like, why do I want guests?
I love it.
So yeah, please do come and listen to my podcast, and you can find me over on LinkedIn too. Oh, and my book.
Yes.
I didn't even
You
bloody
didn't bring the book.
it.
Tell everyone about the book.
So the book is called Ideal Client Attraction, A Spiritual Practice, and it is for every business owner who wants to connect on a deeper level with their ideal client so that they're compelled to come and work with you. You don't have to keep chasing after them.
Nice. Helen, final question.
Oh, yeah.
What is your personal definition of success?
Peace. Always. I want to make lots of money and have lots of peace. Inner peace is what success feels like.
Amen. Helen,
Amen.
thank you.
Thank you.